So we're going to start off this session by talking about personal productivity, getting more done with less time and effort, becoming more efficient, becoming more effective. Here are a few quotes to start off with. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. Sun Tzu said that. Great strategist. Here's another. Next to knowing when to seize an opportunity, the most important thing in life is to know when to forego an opportunity. Benjamin Disraeli. The essence of genius is to know what to overlook. William James. These are three relatively significant historical and kind of literary figures. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. What does that imply? It implies that if you keep growing, the amount of opportunity you have right now is nothing compared to what's coming. Ralph on our team, who is a very wise man, a couple of years ago I said, "Wow, Ralph, things are really taking off. Business is going to the next level. I can really sense like we're transitioning into another realm. And the opportunity, I mean, we're going through some kind of weird experience right now. It's a vortex. All of these people are coming to us and wanting to work with us and coming out of the woodwork, companies wanting to do deals with us, and it's amazing. We need to, look around and take advantage of this." And he said, "You ain't seen nothing yet." And it shifted my mindset in that moment. And I thought, wow, this is just the beginning of this. If we keep going, there's going to be even more opportunity and more opportunity. And that's what happens. And I realized that the problem in business is not figuring out how to take advantage of all the opportunity, which is what we all try to do. The problem in business is how, in the face of all this massive opportunity that's coming in, figuring out how to narrow your focus. Pay attention to fewer, more important things, while there are more and more of them coming at you. Remember, man who chases 2 rabbits catches none? What about when you have 47 rabbits? Or 1,200 rabbits? And I thought these other 2 quotes, it's taken me a long time to find these quotes, to realize that other people have been saying these things. When you read something like, next to knowing when to seize an opportunity, the most important thing in life is to know when to forego an opportunity. When you read that, it's easy to say, oh yeah, that's one of those cute quote things that's out of a quote book. Except that this was a very sophisticated, evolved, important person that said this. The essence of genius is to know what to overlook. This is William James. Without him, kind of modern psychology wouldn't have happened that way. Opportunity can be a big problem. It can be a huge problem. And in fact, I would say that opportunity, or the appearance of opportunity, distracts and hurts entrepreneurs more than problems, because we're trying to take advantage of all of them. So we're moving to phase 2 right now, and a lesson that I want to share with you that I learned in phase 2 is the power of developing your team. In my case, it was the power of developing my team. And we do, inside of our business, what we call team training calls, or now they're just called the team call. And once a week, we all get on a call. Our company happens to be virtual, so we do it on the telephone. Some companies do these types of things in person. We get on a team training call. And on the calls, I and now other people on our team do the trainings for the entire group. And we train each other. We train ourselves. And what I would do is get everyone on the phone, and I would say, what I'd like to do is share with you for maybe 15 or 20 or 30 minutes, share with you a lesson that I've learned. And in fact, a lot of the material that you'll see here in Altitude, these are the types of things that I would teach on these calls as I was learning and developing these things, learning from books, learning from other people, learning the lessons myself in business. What's the best way to learn something? Well, maybe to do it, but teaching it is pretty good too. And what I've found is that if I learn something and I immediately go teach it to someone else, somehow it changes the way it's coded or wired inside of my mind. Really. Like, it's not the same in there anymore. It actually does something to it. And I've talked to a lot of experts about this, and no one's been able to hook up a brain scanning device and see what your brain does when it goes into teaching mode and then show you exactly how the neurons fire differently, although someone will probably do it soon. But something happens in there that makes the brain work a little bit differently. And so I recommend that what you do is you take the material that you're learning here and other material that you're learning outside, and once a week, once every 2 weeks, get your team together, even if it's on a telephone call, and even if it's short, even if it's for 15 minutes, and say, I want to teach you something. I want to teach you something that I learned about how to make your own life better. And if you can focus a lot of the material on the personal life of other individuals, you can go very far. If you focus on making the personal life of your team and the people that are on your team better, and you care about their personal lives, and you insist that they have great personal lives, then on the team training calls during business hours when they're getting paid, you say, hey, let me teach you how to have a better personal life, how to be more effective. It creates a particular type of connection and bond between you and them and between the group that is incredibly powerful. And it's one of those things that, even though it is self-serving, because you are trying to grow these people so that they can help grow the group, it's one of those magical things, you only get a few of these really in life, where you can do it, you can tell everyone what you're doing, you can say, I want you to have a great personal life so that you really enjoy what you're doing inside the business, so that we all succeed together, where it's very win-win-win. There's nothing hidden, there's nothing weird about it, and everyone really enjoys it. We're helping each other. We're here to learn from each other. And I particularly recommend that you take some of the lessons that you're going to learn in this session and use those to start with, because these things tend to resonate with just about everyone, and everyone can relate and get some value from this material. So take this, chop it up, and teach it to your team. In fact, if you want to learn this material 5 times as well, 7 times as well, 10 times as well, you want to master this material, the best thing you can do is teach it to your team. Teach it to your team. Say that with me. Teach it to your team. For you, say, teach it to my team. Teach it to my team. Say it. Teach it to my team. Teach it to my team. So what's the best thing you can do with this material? Good. Teach it to my team. Just write that down. Say it to yourself a little bit. Teach it to my team. I got to teach it to my team. It's a great little phrase. It's memorable. Teach it to my team. Teach it to my team. If you learn something and you like it, put a little star next to it. Teach it to my team. Got to teach it to my team. There's a great state or place to be in, psychologically and emotionally, experientially. Some people refer to it as the zone. Some people call it flow, the flow state. And it's that experience of total involvement, of engagement. And when it happens, when it's on, you lose track of time, you lose track of problems, you're not worrying about anything, and you're also typically evolving, growing, making something happen. Barry Sears wrote a book called Enter the Zone. It's a diet and nutrition book, and I kind of got into that whole way of thinking in the past. I've since modified it a lot, and just like anything else, I've taken what's valuable and thrown away what's not. And he pointed out that there are things you can do physiologically to get into the zone, and you can balance your meals, and you can do various things so that physically your body is processing optimally. And that book was the thing that kind of just keyed me into the idea that if I eat certain foods or eat foods in a certain way, that it can affect my physical energy. And if I don't eat foods in a certain way, it can screw up my physical energy or my zone. And he actually suggests that the way you eat makes a difference about whether you feel like you're in the zone or not. Well, I've learned since then that that zone or that flow state can happen physically, it can happen emotionally, and it can happen logically, and it can even happen on what you might think of as higher levels. There's another book that is a very interesting book about this stuff, and it's called Flow. And a guy named Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, and don't ask me how to spell that because it's the most bizarrely spelled name in the history of publishing. And in this book, he talks about what he calls optimal experience and getting completely engrossed in something, right? Getting totally dialed into something. And he says people that play chess often report that when they're in the middle of a chess game, they're just completely absorbed in the chess game. Or people that are reading, they get completely absorbed into the reading and time flies by. Well, it can also happen in work. It can also happen when you're doing your best work. So I believe that you can port over or bring some of this zone or flow state into your work. And I think that if you're conscious of this and you think, okay, how can I get more of that into my work so that I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I'm enjoying the journey, and then what can I do to get my team in this state more? I think you can make a huge difference inside your company, especially long term. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later, but some of the things that you can do are don't let people do things that they don't like to do, and don't let people do things that they're bad at. If someone's not good at a certain thing and you keep trying to make them do it, what do you think is going to happen? Well, they're going to feel bad about it because they're going to know, I'm not really that good at that thing, and I don't really like doing that thing, and but okay, well, I'll do it. And then they're not going to do a very good job, and it's not going to feel that good. On the other hand, if you say, even once in a while, even if you do this just a little bit to start, if you show up once a week or a couple of times a month and you just say, you know what, I noticed you're doing this thing over here. Don't really worry about that. Focus on this thing where you're strong. And you just encourage people to stay in that place. You can do a lot getting people here. And I think what you find is that if you're concerned about people being in that state, in flow or in the zone, working from their strengths and their talents, and you're constantly just nudging people and pushing the situation and doing it with yourself, everyone can become more fulfilled. Everyone can become more productive together. And eventually what can happen is your whole business can start operating this way. This is a little bit out there, and you really have to experience it to, I think, understand it. But once all the wires get hooked up and everyone's operating from this place, it's almost as if your business can start to have a talent, and your business can start to have a strength with everyone working together. This can really happen. And everyone can become more fulfilled through their work. And in fact, if you do it the right way, part of my experience is that sometimes people get so into their work and they get so involved and so engaged that you have to say to them, you know what, stop working so much. Go take some time off, go relax, go unplug. Which is, I think, what we're all trying to achieve in a lot of ways, is to have teams that are so inspired that they want to help our business grow, and they're so healthy that they want to grow personally. Another thing that I've learned in the past, the metaphor is, in a garden, weeds grow automatically. You don't have to do anything for the weeds to grow. Peter Drucker has a great quote about this that I'll probably read to you later, about how friction and problems grow in your business automatically. You don't need to do anything about that. If you want to grow a beautiful garden, that is what you have to pay attention to. You have to plant, you have to water, you have to weed. Going and pulling out the weeds, that may not be the most fun part, but it's really important if you want to have a great garden. Another piece of this, too, that's, I think, very interesting about human behavior and psychology is that the influences that we have around us program us whether we want them to or not. This is I'm really convicted about that. I really believe that. The influences we have around us, they program us whether we're aware of it or not. And that's why, in most cases, when someone comes to a little transformational program and they go to the live program, they get all pumped up and they go home and they start telling everyone what they learned, and what does everyone in their life say? That sounds like, are you selling multi-level marketing again? Or, what? You're going to try real estate again? You know what? Something's going on here. You're going to start going to that weird church down the road. Something wrong with you. Come on, be normal. And what does everyone do behind your back? Make fun of you. They talk about you and how you're on your weird kick right now. I remember when I was younger, some of the conversations that would happen, around my family. I don't know about everybody here, but I'll bet almost everyone here has figured this out themselves. We all come from regular, normal backgrounds, and we just, created our business, made ourselves successful. But some of my own, now I see in retrospect, but some of my own challenges came from the reality that doing things like getting healthy and exercising every day, just that one idea, exercising every day, or, God forbid, going to a gym and exercising every day, was really viewed as being, you're kind of a little bit of an extreme health nut. There's really got to be something wrong with you if you go down to a gym every day. It would almost be like, oh yeah, they go down to the gym every day and like pump iron, implying that there's something weird about that and something really wrong with you, like you've got this screw loose. And so, and then while everyone's making fun of you, they're passing the box of Twinkies and talking about all the problems that they have and how their boss sucks and their kids are a mess and whatever. The connect is never made. If you don't do this stuff proactively, if you do not surround yourself by like-minded individuals on a regular basis and let those negative connections go, sometimes it's difficult, but you got to do it. Just let them go. I'm not saying calling everybody up and saying, you're a negative influence on my life and I don't love you anymore. Just saying, just let go of them. Don't keep pulling them in. Let those go, and then start planting positive seeds in your garden that will grow automatically. Those connections will grow. It'll start taking up more and more of your time. The positive influence will start a feed-forward loop, and it'll just keep working. And then you'll get into that great state, but you got to stay proactive on it, and you've got to stay with it, because you just let a couple of negative influences in, and then the next thing you know, you're pessimistic again. You're back to your old self. That's another great little trick of human psychology, that those circuits that you have from a long time ago that you haven't even thought about, they're still in there. And they're just waiting to get fired back up. All those bad behaviors that you've done in the past that aren't you anymore, they're just waiting for the right influence to come and, affect you so you go, oh yeah, whatever, I don't have to worry about that anymore. So surround yourself with positive role models and positive influences and stay submerged and do it proactively. You need to build your own mastermind group and, take charge of planting your own seeds and tending your own garden.